Now to 11 Alive's Doug Richards. Doug, you have been there at the high school really for a couple of hours now. You've been speaking with students and with some of the parents out there. What else are you learning?
Well, we're learning that the students, based on their own characterization of what happened, had a very traumatic experience, and that there was, as some of them said, hard to know initially what was going on. When they heard the initial gunshots, it was hard to know exactly that's what that was. But then we talked to some students who were in a classroom adjacent to where at least some of the shooting took place, and they had very traumatic experiences. Hearing the gunshots, not really knowing whether the gunshots were going to get closer to them, but recognizing that it was gunfire, seeing signs on the displays that are in each classroom that said that they were on a hard lockdown and indicating that there was a genuine emergency taking place. The teachers putting them into the lockdown protocol where they piled into corners of classrooms in order to sort of minimize the possible exposure as targets. We talked with one young lady by the name of Zoe Gray, who described what she went through in her classroom. Was there ever any moment when you thought you were in danger?
Oh yeah, I thought I was gonna die. It was like, it sounded so close. I'm sure it was, because it was right near. I don't know exactly which door, but you hear bang, bang, like they're kind of like they're trying to get in a door. It wasn't our door, but I'm sitting right by the door. And so it sounds like they're trying to get in, but I don't know if it's shots or they're just trying to get in. We were just having a normal day. It wasn't anything different than what we were used to. They usually make you put up your phone, but I was charging mine today, so I luckily had it, and it was just normal. And then bang, 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 hard lockdown. And the teachers were phenomenal. Like, we have a special teacher for the blind kid, and then we have our normal teacher, and they were very good at doing their job of keeping us calm.
I talked with probably a half dozen students as they were leaving here. Many of them were with their parents, and the parents gave their blessings for us to talk to them. Almost all of them said that they were convinced that there was more than one gunman. One student told us that they heard shots from different locations within the school. One student told us that when they exited out the hall, actually a couple of students told us when they exited out the hallway, they saw the body of somebody in the hallway who they believed to be one of the student gunmen. So we know that the GBI is telling us that one gunman is in custody. The students at least left here convinced that there was more than one gunman, and that there was and that one of them was killed by police in the course of the investigation. The authorities have not confirmed that, and the students are saying it just based on their observations. Student told us that the one person that they believed was a gunman laying deceased in the hallway actually had a firearm, which she described as an assault rifle, on the ground with him when they led the students past the person deceased in the hallway. So it's hard to tell. Nobody knew. We talked to one student who said that he knew a gunman casually, didn't describe anything particularly unusual about this particular person who he believed was a gunman. But there's a lot of information flying around, obviously, in here, some of which may not be true, but some of which is gathered by people who said they saw firsthand in the hallway as they were evacuating their classrooms, just based on evidence that they saw. The good news, of course, is that it appears the danger's over. The students are casually exiting the school now, mostly with their parents, very relieved that this is over, and not planning to come back to school tomorrow is what they're telling us. Back to you.
All right, Doug, thank you so much. And we do want to give you some information from the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. They are saying that the suspect in this shooting is in custody and that that person is alive. They say that reports that the suspect has been neutralized are inaccurate. They're also saying that reports of additional shootings taking place at nearby schools are incorrect. Again, any reports of additional shootings taking place at nearby schools in Barrow County are not correct. That information coming from the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. They're posting this information on X to kind of refute some information that misinformation that is out there. But again, the suspect is in custody. The suspect is alive. Any reports that the suspect has been neutralized are inaccurate, and any reports of additional shootings at nearby schools are also incorrect.
And we will likely